The Panthers dropped their official 53-man roster for now. Let's talk about a few takeaways. First things first, 3 undrafted free agents made the roster yet again. This is the second year in a row under this regime of Dan Morgan and Dave Canales that they have retained the services of guys that didn't get their name selected. And I'm not sure what to make of it. The fact that, hey, these guys could be some gems like a Jalen Coker we saw last year, or the Panthers just lack so much depth that undrafted free agents can consistently make the team and actually have a chance in the rotation. The biggest name that sticks out this year has to be Corey Thornton, who's probably going to be slated as the 3rd cornerback. This guy up and down the camp and preseason continued to make plays and really answered the call. I'm really excited for this guy to see what he can do. And next up, we were all paying attention to what would go down in that wide receiver room, and the biggest surprise has to be the release of Hunter Renfrow. Dazzled early on in camp, got hurt, and then in preseason kind of struggled to really catch his footing as he played with the 3rd string. However, being a vested veteran, he will not be subject to waivers. He can just go on the practice squad if he so chooses. He's made it clear that he loves the area, being that he's from South Carolina and is close to home to be able to play for the Panthers. He's a little bit older in age. Obviously, he has his own business that he runs and loves his family, and with the disease that he was kind of facing and battling over the past few years, it may behoove him to stay close to home. So I would expect him to potentially be brought back if Adam Thielen trade goes down, because that is still looming. We have had updates saying that the Panthers and the Vikings are at a standstill because the Vikings won't meet the price. So I think that if Adam Thielen is traded, Hunter Renfrow instantly takes that step up into his spot as that one of those slot receivers. The next up is for the D-line. I made a video about some potential surprise cuts. I named 3 names. I only got 1 correct, and that was Shy Tuttle. Shy Tuttle, you can really see the writing on the wall here. He did have a pretty high salary, but he did take a pay cut this offseason, so you thought it might help his chances. But again, with the additions of what we made in free agency with Turk Wharton, Bobby Brown, and with drafting a guy like Cam Jackson, it was going to be pretty slim chances for Shy Tuttle to return services. He started over 30 games for us over the past few years, and the results of our run defense have probably been a little bit connected to him because he's not really a guy that needs to play nose guard, but he was trying to man that middle and got pushed around properly. But it feels good to actually upgrade the talent on the roster, and Shy Tuttle is an afterthought now. Next up, the Panthers actually kept 9 offensive linemen, the same 9 from last year. This is a rare occurrence to really run it back with everybody. Continuity is key. The Panthers had a pretty top-notch offensive line last year, so this makes sense. I'm going to be looking for them to capitalize off what they did last year and really keep that momentum going. They have some weak spots so they can really upgrade with the waiver wire. I expect changes at potentially kicker, inside linebacker, cornerback, and even maybe outside linebacker at the back of the roster if the right names come up. There were a lot of these guys that have hit the market. Last year, the Panthers 53-man roster that they released initially on cut day looked a lot different than the one that they had by the end of that same week, and I don't expect the roster churn to be any different. So pay attention to what could be coming in the pipeline.